Ladies and pickup trucks, coming up on Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte.
I think it's a pretty sexy looking car.
You really think so?
It's just got really sexy lines.
How about this one?
So when my dad traded it in and got rid of it, I cried. I was so mad.
And hey, I like what you've done to your car.
The car is done in white Italian leather with ultra suede, blue ultra suede.
Plus,
because of the values of these cars over the last couple years, a lot of guys are hot for the Mopar parts.
you can't restore a car without the proper parts. In the last Hemi. Remember, kids, if you find something you like, stick with it.
I just painted, everything is green.
Here comes Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte. Hey everybody, welcome to Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte. I'm Jeff Phelps in Canton, Ohio. We are at the 12th Annual Indoor Hot Rod Show at the Canton Civic Center. Now Canton, Ohio, of course, known as the birthplace of professional football, the home of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But it's a lot more than that this weekend. The name on the sign says Patty.
Yes,
This is Bill and Patty.
yes.
Why does it just say Patty, Patty?
Because it's my truck.
And how did it come to be yours and Bill did all the work? I don't quite understand here.
Well, Bill's an amazing builder, and he was building me another car years ago, a 41 Willys.
Yeah, how'd that turn out?
It turned out to be his after he started building it for me.
Bill, you're in trouble.
Yes.
We started building it and then he got out of control. He put a 426 Hemi in it, blown and injected, told me it had way too much horsepower for me to handle, so it ended up not being mine anymore and it was his. So then he had a couple of cars and I still didn't have anything. And I spotted this truck and he built me this truck because I liked it.
Out of guilt?
I like building them. That's what I feel.
And it worked out well and you got off the hook, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
When did
Hey, I
this...
might take the truck and she might have the Willys now.
Nah, see, now you're talking. Oh, that's gonna go over real well, Patty.
I think I can handle it.
How did this project begin? When did it start?
Oh gosh, we've had it probably almost 10 years.
No kidding.
And it sat not being worked on.
We actually had a flood in Pittsburgh from Hurricane Ivan in 2004, so we lost 7 vehicles in the flood. This was partially built in the flood and they had to redo it all.
It was actually up on the lift, but it was only a foot off the ground. So had it been higher,
Yeah, it would have been safe.
Would have saved it completely.
Yeah.
Now, how often do you get this out and about?
well, we just finished it 3 weeks ago. So I've only driven it in and out of the garage so far. I think it's a pretty sexy looking car.
I do too.
Looking truck.
It has a longer bed. The bed tucks in at the back. It's just got really sexy lines. It's a cool looking truck. It's fun building them. There's a lot of hours there. There's thousands of hours and making things fit right and making things right that weren't right with the kid. But it's fun.
I've gotten good at ducking when the wrench flies over my head.
And is everything patched up now from the Willys?
Yes.
Congratulations, Bill.
Thank you.
Job well done for that reason alone, right?
But I've always been a gearhead since I was little, so it doesn't stop here, and this is not my only one. So I belong to the Gearhead Girls Car Club, so there's a lot of us.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. Luckily, you married a gearhead guy.
Well, I could not marry someone that wasn't into cars.
That's how we met. We met at a car cruise.
Yeah,
No kidding?
Yeah.
Well, the family that cruises together stays together, right?
exactly.
That's right.
Dave, I take a look at your car and I have one thought in my head. You must have really wanted a green car because that is one snazzy shade of green, Dave.
Well, you got to know me. I've got a 40 Ford pickup at home, same color.
Same color.
Same color. I got a 27 T Roadster that I drag race, same color.
Same color.
I had an 81 Mustang,
No.
same color.
Do I want to know why, David?
It's been some years ago when I built the truck. I seen this color. It's actually a 79 Volkswagen Rally Green. I loved it. I put it on the truck, and it just kind of stuck to me. Matter of fact, my truck, everybody calls it the Kermit truck because they think it's Kermit. Well, I don't know. And I just painted, everything is green. So,
Everything.
Yeah.
Can I ask what color your house is?
Oh, it's gold.
All right, good.
Yeah.
I feel much better then. How long has this project been on the table? Because it looks very fresh.
Well, it'll be 3 years this June when I bought it. So it's been just over about 2.5 years working on it.
And it's finished up when, David?
Just days ago, really.
No kidding.
Really.
Now, when you got this car, what did it look like?
Frame, just a shell of the body, no windows, no interior, but it had the 9-inch Ford rear end under and the Mustang 2 front end. So there was a lot of swap meets going to, finding parts, chrome strips, all that stuff. So,
David, what was the most interesting, most challenging part of this restoration?
probably the frame, because it took the body off of it and everything and had to box the frame in, strengthen the frame so it would hold this motor. So,
How did it look when you got it all?
oh, when the frame was done, I didn't want to put the body on it because the frame came out so nice.
Yeah, but you know, a frame without a body
I know.
doesn't do you much good,
No,
does it?
doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Jack and Helen, I love old cars, but the thing I love most is when I find an older vehicle owned by the folks who bought it right out of the showroom, and that's you with your Barracuda.
That's exactly right.
You bought it when?
1968.
And you've had it ever since.
It's a
Yes, sir.
69 model. It was built in September and we bought it in October, and I seen it unloaded off the truck. And we
Helen-
bought it that night.
Helen, what was it about this car that you guys thought, well, we have to buy this thing?
Well, I really liked the style, and it was very pretty, and the color, and it was my work car for years.
How many?
I drove that till 1984.
No kidding.
Yes.
And then what happened to it?
Parked it.
Parked it in the garage, and it was there for how many years?
1996, we took it out and had it restored. That's the first vehicle we've ever bought and kept. And the rest of them was get about every 2 years we'd trade and get another one. But we kept this one, and it sat in the garage.
It was in good shape, but not car quality, not car show quality.
And in 1996, you dragged it out of the garage?
Yes.
Drove it out, took it, and had my buddy took the motor and transmission out of it, and took the heads off of it, put the unleaded valve seats and stuff in it, and took all the braking system, brake lines, master cylinders, wheel cylinders, replaced all of that. And we had the firewall and inner panels refinished. Then we took it back and put the motor in it.
Helen, is it the same color, the same everything as it was the day you bought it?
It's
Yeah.
exactly like it was.
Just like it was.
No kidding. Was it important to you to make it just like it was?
Yes. I wanted it original.
Still got the original of the point condenser ignition system.
No kidding.
It's-
And all the paperwork. We have even the canceled check.
You kept the check.
Yes, they still have it checked.
That's funny.
got-
Now, what do you do with the car? Obviously, it means an awful lot to you because it's the one you kept, it's the one you stuck in the garage for 12 years, it's the one you restored. What do you do with it now?
Go-
Car shows.
Just car shows, travel around, High Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Kentucky.
So, Helen, you're not driving it to work?
No, I'm retired now.
But if you were working
Oh, no.
You
never.
wouldn't drive it to
No,
work?
No, never.
and you plan to keep it,
Forever.
Forever,
you've been married how many years?
52.
And it's been with you for, what, 4/5 of the marriage then?
Yes,
Well, congratulations.
Thank
It's a
you.
beautiful car, and I know it means a lot to you.
it really does.
Nothing like a lady who knows her automobile.
What's under the hood is an LS7, 427 cubic inch with 650 horsepower.
It's next on Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte.
Sally, Tina, Betsy, you've developed quite a bond with your classic car. Let the consignment professionals at RK Motors Charlotte make the selling process as painless as possible. Through precision marketing and large customer base, we all but guarantee a sale at maximum value, and we don't get paid until your car sells. We've sold over 1,500 classic cars here at RK Motors Charlotte, and now we'd like to get to know Betsy, at least for a little while. Visit rkmotorscharlotte.com.
Now back to Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte. Gerry, first of all, this is a nasty, nasty car.
Thank you.
It doesn't mess around, and it's yours, and it's not only yours, you just don't look at it. You drive the heck out of it, I've been told by friends. What do you do to this poor car?
Well, it was built to be a pro touring machine, and that means driving it. And we've been participating with this car in various events like road course, autocross, braking challenges. It debuted in July of last year at the Good Guys show in Columbus.
Now, what inspired you? Obviously, you're really into automobiles. What inspired you to have a car like this built for this purpose, for that enjoyment?
Well, I've enjoyed cars for 30-some years now. I started out with a muscle car. From there, I moved into street rods. After that, I got enamored with the rat rod culture and have a rat rod pickup truck. And then it was time for another car project, so it had to be something different, you know, and the pro touring scene has been gaining in popularity, and it would give me the opportunity to drive the car and participate in events, take some performance driving lessons, and so that just seemed to be the next logical thing.
Where did you find this, and what did it look like when you found it?
Well, it was found in Missouri, and it was a white 6-cylinder car with popping red interior and hubcaps. The body of the car was very sound, and that was most important to us because we knew everything else was coming out of it. It would be gutted. And with a pro touring car, it's all about performance, handling, and drivability. So it's got a full chassis underneath it now. Everything's been upgraded and is technologically on the leading edge.
Gerry, what's under the hood? It looks nasty.
It's an LS7. 427 cubic inch motor with 650 horsepower. It was built by Thompson Racing Engines in Wixom, Michigan, and we're really happy with the engine and its performance.
Now, what do you plan to do as you continue down the road, and what must your poor builder think as you start chipping this thing up? Because I'm sorry, the paint job's immaculate, the car's fabulous, but you're running it.
I am. Well, as I said, you know, the builder is enjoying the car as well, and so I figured that kind of helps me out because if he chips it, he's fixing it.
He understands
too.
a little.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're really both having a lot of fun with it, but as I said, I intend to get more miles on it this season than he's put on it, and take some more performance driving courses and just really enjoy the car.
So any young ladies out there who get a little muscle car, be careful because it could end up like this, huh? Is that what you're telling everybody, Gerry?
Absolutely. It's great. No regrets.
Well, it's a beautiful car.
Thank you.
And you sure have a good time with it. Thanks for sharing it with us.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
Gerry, you walk into this Civic Center, and there's no way this car doesn't catch your eye.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful car. How did this concept come about? Because there are certainly some concepts in this car.
Well, the car was finished in 2007. It was built in California. It was designed by Richard Zoke, who's a legendary custom car builder from the 50s. I've had the car for about 3 years now, and the car originally was a light blue pearl, and a couple of years ago, a very famous legendary custom car builder named Larry Watson passed away, and we reshot the car in this paneled paint job, which is kind of like a tribute to him. It's 3 shades of blue mother of pearl with a gold pearl highlight over the entire car. It actually changes colors from different angles.
What made you want to have this built? What was your inspiration to do it?
Well, a Grand Prix is kind of an interesting car. We like to do cars that most people don't customize.
What are some of your favorite things on the interior of this car, Gerry?
The car is done in white Italian leather with ultra suede, blue ultra suede, and it's also got piping in it. The actual console that came with the Grand Prix has been covered in leather and ultra suede, but one of the unique features is it's got a rear center console that actually goes on top of the original console. And it's got modern features like a cup holder and got speakers in it.
What did this look like before you started? Where'd you find the car that you guys started working with?
Well, the car originally was white, just a stock white
Grand Prix?
Stock white Grand Prix. And of course it was much higher. The car rides on air ride suspension. I can press a button and the car will raise up 6 inches for regular everyday driving. The top was chopped 4 inches in the back and 3 inches in the front. And if you look down the side, you'll see that it's angled in the back.
Your favorite thing about it, Gerry?
Actually, the nicest part of the car, I feel, is the front end. The front end from basically a foot back was all hand fabricated. The headlights are staggered and extended. The front headlight is staggered 4 inches, extended 4 inches, and the bottom one is extended 3 inches to give it a staggered look. And the metal has all been pinched in. A lot of detail went into the front end of the car. One of the things that most people don't realize is the bumpers have all been Frenched in. That means there's metal going around, so it looks like it's built into the car. And the same thing with the custom-made grille. That's all Frenched in.
Under the hood?
Well, under the hood is basically a stock engine.
Really?
Stock 389 with a pretty radical cam. It sounds nice. It's got straight pipes on it. It's just, it's not like some of the full-blown show engines. It's just very tastefully done with chrome.
Well, Gerry, you're obviously very proud of it. You should be.
Thank you.
Coming up next, the restoration of the last Hemi continues.
Well, my job in the end is to make something look like it was perfect and never seen any elements.
Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte. We'll be right back.
Handling classic and high-performance vehicles requires an industry-leading team of experts. Welcome to RK Motors Charlotte. Industry-leading means meticulous attention to detail when servicing every vehicle. It means a consignment service so fine-tuned that a successful sale at maximum value is all but guaranteed. And a rigorous inspection on every vehicle before its tires even touch our sales floor. It's all this and more that make RK Motors Charlotte the industry leader. Visit rkmotorscharlotte.com.
From start to finish, it's the restoration of the last Hemi. The last Hemi has been disassembled. Now it's time to assess. Time to see what's there. Time to figure out exactly what things need to be done.
Since the car was fairly unmolested, it was very good. We know everything was there. Again, we took our time in the process of taking it apart. We started labeling stuff, what would be sandblasted, starting the sandblasting process, what was going to be sent out for refurbishing. You know, there's certain parts, you know, master cylinders, wheel cylinders, stuff that, you know, the owner wanted reconditioned or what have you, that we could get done in an outside source that will return us the exact part refurbished as new. We started on the restoration already on little parts with sandblasting, but made our lists of parts that weren't good enough that we were going to need NOS, and now that process is taking place of looking for them. We found a lot of our metal we needed, so there's a few more parts yet, but it's coming.
Where do you find these things, Mike?
We have certain guys in our pocket. I want to say, you know, Jen, our parts locator, our purchasing manager, she searches everywhere for these, so she has her contacts. And with the Mopars, because of the values of these cars over the last couple years, a lot of guys are hot for the Mopar parts. So they're starting to come out of the woodwork saying, hey, you know, I've got this abundance of these parts. Now that the cars are worth something, the parts are worth something, so maybe I'll start selling some of these off.
Being an unmolested car for the most part, what did you think about the quality of the parts? I know they're most all of them are there. What did you think about the quality of the parts? Because obviously the car sat for a long period of time.
Fairly solid, but corrosion issues, you know, that's, you know, my job in the end is to make something look like it was
brand
perfect
new.
And never seen any elements. So it was tough, but being that it was all there and solid, you know, the hard parts were good. You know, sheet metal issues, sheet metal doesn't scare me, except on this particular car, the fact that, you know, trying to work with all correct OEM sheet metal, it's not like I can just buy something and slap it on, you know, so that's been difficult with parts on sheet metal end of it. Everything else was pretty well restorable. Some of the pits were heavy in some of the parts, and there's ways of reconditioning that to where, you know, you just get the best quality when it's all said and done. So, and you'll get to see a little bit of that as we go on too.
For more on the restoration of the last Hemi, visit our website at thelasthemi.com.
When it comes to restoring or servicing your classic or high-performance car, expertise is the name of the game. And that's precisely what you'll find at RK Motors. You'll find our expertise in the attention to detail that can only be acquired through years of working on world-class builds. You'll also find our expertise in the RKM Performance Center, where we've assembled a team of highly qualified ASE-certified mechanics. When expertise is the name of the game, trust the experts at RK Motors. Visit rkmotorscharlotte.com.
Now back to the Canton Hot Rod Show on Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte. Stacy, I walked by this big, nasty-looking truck, and you tell me you own it.
I do.
What's a nice lady like you owning a big, nasty truck like this for?
I drove it in high school. My dad bought it new in '79.
Wait a minute. You drove this in high school?
I drove it in high school. It was my favorite.
How old were you?
I was 16.
A 16-year-old nice kid driving this big, nasty car?
I loved it.
Oh my goodness, Stacy.
And when my dad traded it in and got rid of it, I cried. I was so mad. And he said I would get over it when I saw the new one, but I didn't.
Yeah, but you might not have gotten over it, but you got it back.
I got it back. I stalked it for years. I knew where it was, and I watched it deteriorate. And it was so sad, and I kept asking my husband, you know, can't we get it back? Can't we fix it? It's so sad. And he kept telling me, you're crazy, you're crazy. And then the gentleman who owned it, he passed away, and they had an auction. And my husband and my father went and bought it back.
You had no idea they were buying it back, Stacy?
No, I didn't know anything about it.
So how did they surprise you?
They just showed up. We all work together. We have a family business, and they just showed up on a Saturday afternoon with it. It was terrible. It was awful.
And your thoughts?
I didn't think that it could come back, especially not like this. We were just hoping to try to get it back to where I could drive it again.
And now it looks like this. Is this nicer than when you had it originally?
Yeah, much. My husband did everything from the bottom to the top. He did it all himself. It took him 8 years, you know, because this isn't what we do. You know, we sell furniture for a living, so it took him 8 years, weekends, nights, evenings. He did everything from the engine swap. We put a Hemi in it. The paint, the interior, he did it all. So it took a long time, but I got to pick colors, I got to, you know, pick wheels, I got to, you know, pick everything and make it just the way that he and I wanted.
So here it sits. What's it mean to you all these years later?
It means a lot. I get a little bit teary when I talk about it, but my daughter's 13, she goes to the same high school, and we teased that she could drive it to the same high school, but I told her she could only drive it there, she can't park it in the parking lot.
I was just going to ask, is she going to get behind the wheel?
She can get behind the wheel.
Turned into Ladies' Day here in Canton, didn't it? Love it when the ladies love the hot rods, because that's exactly what we had at the 12th Annual Indoor Hot Rod Show right here at the Canton Civic Center. I'm Jeff Phelps. We'll see you next time on Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte.